You are now entering the Queen's Quarter. We are powerful, strong, and rulers in our own right. There's a queen in you, there's a queen in me. Every woman is a queen.
Welcome back to the Queen's Quarters. We're so happy that you've joined us. We hope you've been having as much fun as we have. My name is Queen Emma, and we're going to introduce ourselves. Who's next?
I am Queen T, and I'm representing the 50s Club.
Hi, I'm Queen Ty. I'm also representing the 50s Club.
Hello, everyone. I'm Queen Tans, representing the 40s Club.
Hello, everyone. I'm Queen Jock and representing the early 40s.
Hey, everybody. I'm Queen Lady B, and I'm representing the late 30s.
Hey, y'all. I'm Queen Nye, representing the early 30s.
Hi, guys. I'm Queen Shay, and I'm representing the Dove Club.
Great. It's so glad to everybody's here today. We're going to have our tea time.
Welcome. It is tea time with Queen T. And I would like everyone to just hold their mugs for a second and just show our audience these beautiful mugs that were created for us. Now, today we're going to have lemon tea. And lemon tea have a lot of health benefits, but I'm only going to name a few. One is it helps support your immune system. It can lower your blood pressure, and it also has anti-cancer properties in it. So get you a cup of lemon tea today and come and join Queen's Quarters. Let's see what's going on in Queen's Quarters.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing the tea time, Queen T. As we all know, March is Women's History Month, and we're going to highlight a woman today. We're going to have that highlight come from Queen Tans. Who are we highlighting today, Tans?
Hey, everybody. So we are going to give a quick shout out to Reverend Lady Natasha Rouse, that she's a Holy Grove Baptist Church. She is, and we wanted to highlight her because she's a woman that empowers women. That is her ministry. That is basically her stamp. So if you want to know somebody's stamp, that is her stamp. Reverend Lady Natasha Rouse. She is all about women, empowering women, and us coming together to uplift one another. So as this is Women Empowering Women's Month, we are all here signifying that is exactly what we do. We empower each other. So as we go on and dive into this month, come on with us as we empower each other.
Yes.
Awesome job. Awesome. Let's give her a hand, everybody. Awesome. So March the 8th is International Women's Day, and that brings our topic to empowering women. Why don't women empower each other, ladies?
Or what is our experiences with it?
Right.
You know,
I think it's like some women are, a lot of women are jealous of each other. And I think that's what we encounter. I don't have a lot of female friends personally myself. My best friend is a male. And my other best friend is my sister.
Hey y'all, if you didn't know.
But I think it's a problem. I don't know whether we just jealous of each other. We don't know how to compliment each other. Or how to support. For the most part, I've encountered that in a workplace quite a bit in a workplace. So I don't know. I wonder. I question that myself. So I'm looking for answers.
Yeah. So then what do we have as a definition of the meaning of women empowerment? How will we define that? Before we discuss what's given and what's not, how will we define women empowerment?
It's women encouraging other women.
Okay.
As you making an impact, as you're rising to the top, you're bringing them with you. Supporting each other, supporting each other's businesses, supporting each other's endeavors,
Right.
whatever. So that's basically empowering, giving good advice, being there to encourage, to pick a sister up when she is down. I mean, you never know what somebody may be going through. So it's kind of hard because it depends on if the person wants it too.
Okay.
I want it. Like I can give it all day, but if you only want it from a certain person, I fall back. So, but I'm willing to try to encourage women, especially like plus size women. They need
Yeah.
a lot of encouragement. Although you see the rise of plus size women, they are all over the place.
They are encouraged.
They are on the. They are everywhere, but everybody is not like like me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there is some women that's still out there that need to be told that they are beautiful. You can make it. Let's go, sis. You know, what you doing? You know, there's still some women, fat or small, skinny, you know, light, dark, whatever. There's someone still out there that needs an extra push, and they need somebody that can encourage them to do it and not control them, but be there to be an encouragement. You know, we all need that. We all do.
I like how you
So
said not control them
Yeah.
because you know a lot of people do come into your life and it start out fresh, you start out good, but then it's just like, wait, is this like, you know, single black or single white female or single black female? You start taking on the same characteristics, you start acting like or trying to control or where you going, and it could become dysfunctional. But I would say when you were saying like, you know, do they want to be loved, or you know, do they want to be friends, or do they want to be encouraged? I find what works for me is consistency. I think, you know, if you're consistent within yourself and your characteristics and what you give to the table as far as in friendship, whether they want it or whether they don't want it, I find that when I remain consistent and I'm still telling you every day that I see you, you are beautiful. Hey, beautiful. How are you? Oh my God, put a smile on your face. What happened? You okay? You want to talk about it? If you ever do, I'm here. And if you put yourself out there, eventually the hardest people I have found has eventually came and said, you know what? I'm sorry that I wasn't always speaking when you spoke. I'm sorry I wasn't always this, and that. But thank you for remaining consistent, because I know I can get that from you. And you've opened me to be a little less defensive. And I've experienced that in the workplace. I've experienced that in the neighborhood, like just in general with other female relationships.
do you think that the hesitation that we as women experience comes from other women that knock you down? So then all of a sudden you're a little apprehensive to befriend another woman because you know what? The last time I had a friend that was a woman, she did everything she can to kick me in my teeth. And, you know, and we tend to hold on to things like that and causes a rift in what would normally be a wonderful female friendship. What do you think of that?
I wouldn't say that I close myself off to other women being my friend. I'm just cautious because women thrive on emotion. You know, we are guided by emotion naturally, and so wherever those emotions stem from, they come out in the way that we handle people. And if you're driven by jealousy and malice and all of those negative emotions, it's going to come out in however you interact with your colleagues, your friends, anybody that you have to interact with on a day-to-day. And so I'm just cautious of befriending certain women because my emotions are enough. So me taking on somebody else's and dealing with that on a day-to-day, I'm willing to do it when I'm long-term with someone. But if it's a toxic situation or it's negative, I tend to you know, okay, all right, I'm gonna shy away from this. So it's not easy to become friends with women. I should say that. And it's not easy to maintain friendships with other women, because after a while, when you really start to learn who they are and you see the good, the bad, the ugly, it's like, whoa, you know, where does that come from? And when you don't know somebody in depth, it's hard to really understand them. When you don't understand somebody, it's kind of just like, all right, I tried, you know. So
I'm wondering, do everyone else feel that way about you know, befriending women in the same manner as me and Shay? Because obviously I feel that way too, Shay.
I think sometimes it deals with trust issues. Um, I'm the type of person that I'll trust you until you prove yourself untrustworthy. And that's whether you're male, female, whatever. If you prove yourself untrustworthy, because I'm confident enough in myself as a woman that I'm not threatened by other women. And I think what happens is when you meet women who have trust issues, that women with insecurities, things of that nature, then it's difficult to open up to them because they don't allow you, you know, when you say stuff like Tansy is great with being able to speak to you over and over and over. But sometimes women, no matter how many times you speak, I used to go to work and it was a young lady that, you know, sat in one of the cubicles, and every morning I would say good morning. You know, it took me a long time to realize she wasn't speaking back. It took me a long time. You know, every morning you walk past, you say good morning, good morning, good morning. And then one day it was like, she don't never say good morning back. You know, so I think that sometimes as women, we have our own set of insecurities that we bring to the table. And that can, you know, make it difficult for me to give you some empowering words when you acting like a jerk.
Yeah, I think you hit it on a nail, Queen Emma. I was going to say before you said it, you covered everything. I think the reason why some women don't is because they find you to be a threat. And the only reason why you find me to be a threat is if you're not secure in your own space. Because what you're threatened by me, I'm not trying to take anything from you. Like, let's partner together, let's build together. Women empowerment is something that I live for as well. I love it. I encourage until I run out of breath. You know, like, because I enjoy making people feel good. You know, and like, if you're having a bad day, let's talk about it. But unfortunately, that opportunity is not always there because there is some sort of jealousy or, like we said, insecurities, which I think really stops this whole powerful movement that we can all make if we all just learn to put all that to the side.
Right.
I'd like to add to the conversation. I was jotting down so many notes while you guys were talking because it just was so much. And first of all, I don't even think I have an answer to that question, but I would just like to bring out, first of all,
Wait a minute. Tracy doesn't have the answer. Somebody write that down. Okay, go ahead.
She definitely got questions though.
I don't have an answer, but I got a lot of comments, but you know, I don't know how valid they are. But first of all, I think it starts with us culturally. When I go back into my childhood and I look at all the women around me that was empowered, had their own businesses, I didn't see any. So how do we learn to do something that we've never done before? And then I also look in our community and we have situations in relationships. It's always a distrust between us because we're all competitive. You want the guy and I want the same guy. And then next, you know, we got beef. So then we learn as women to distrust each other. So of course, if I distrust you, I'm definitely not going to trust you with my feelings and my emotions. And then it goes to, how do you empower someone when you don't even know how to empower yourself? Exactly. So many of us come from broken homes. And it's not just that, like, if no one ever showed you love, how can you encourage somebody else?
Show it.
Or if your family is so dysfunctional, how do you come out of that and get to a place where you're healed and you're working like I don't know if that makes sense, but you're working like a healed person. No, you're working, your whole life is based around that dysfunction.
Because you really don't know you're dysfunctional because that's normal for you.
Right.
You
And
know,
then we
that's
got, and
normal
then
for
it's the
you.
jealousy because,
Yeah.
you know, you look like this. And, you know, society has taught us like, oh, she's light skinned. So, you know what? She's prettier. And look at her dark skin. And that's really pretty too, you know, and this color is not that pretty. So, and, you know, with all the other, you know, physical attributes. But then, so now we have a jealousy towards each other. And then I think last but not least, that vulnerability, like how do you, and I think for me, and I could speak probably for Tansy and Emma, you know, as women and women in ministry, you know, we're comfortable with sharing our life story. We're comfortable to being vulnerable to other people, regardless of how they feel about us. Now, I can't say that about the new, you know, the millennials. They might feel like, no, I don't want nobody to know my personal business, because in our minds, we're thinking we want to help. We want to help empower you. We want to help the healing of our people. We want to help us so that we can grow and we could become better.
Absolutely.
But how do you, you know, so I don't have an answer for that, but I think like, especially for me, I never saw a lot of entrepreneur women and women just coming together and really getting along. So even in being an author and writing a book with other authors, all women, that was part of our goal, is to show that we can get along as women. We can still have different views. And I think that was part of our goal with this show. We can have different views, but we can still get along.
Absolutely.
So this is, I think it's like a platform where it starts the healing of our people.
Awesome, awesome.
I'm different because growing up, that's all I saw was our mothers and stuff in church coming together, and what they do, cook for the church, raise money.
That's right.
All
Yep.
together.
On the
So
phone
I'm
all
kinda
day after
different.
church.
Yeah, I'm kind of different. I like you say you never saw that, and that's all I saw. So I think that's my upbringing. I think that's probably why, you know, I have a kind of a sensitive heart for, although I may try to be hard, but I kind of have a sensitive heart for other women and young women as well. And, you know, and the number one thing for me is look your best. I don't like when you roll out of bed and just come outside. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I have my days where I just run outside. I may have a head wrap on, but I'm coming back in the house, you know, but, you know, I'm really into that. Like, do your best. Because when you look good, you feel good. And nobody can tell you different. You have to dress up for yourself before you can do it for anyone else. But as far as women empowering women, I've seen it growing up. But there was, you know, the light skin versus the dark skin and things like that. Well, my mom, she was light skinned. And you know what she instilled in me? Yeah, you may be dark, but she put every color on me. So I would not grow up to be like, oh, I can't wear that because I'm too dark. Oh, I can't do that because I'm too dark for it. And you know, my sister's light skinned and I'm dark skinned, but she never treated us or dressed us different. She made me feel as if I was light skinned, like them.
And
So,
that was,
great, I'm different. So,
Doc, do you think it's a difference between the way it was back in the day and the way it is now?
Definitely.
Of course, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And who do we attribute that to? Who do we attribute that to? Because our parents, our mothers and aunts and people in the church, because we all, you know, have church background somewhere, they taught us how to love, and they taught us. I was like you, Jack. I grew up in the church, and my mother was a dark-skinned woman. You understand what I'm saying? So I grew up in the church, and her sisters. If I showed you a picture of my aunts, they look like the color of the rainbow. They come from really dark to like high yellow. You know, and they sisters, blood, same mother, same father, everything. You know, so how do we teach our children and our millennials, and you know, to understand that it's okay to empower another woman. It's okay to say, hey, you're beautiful, and not feel, you know, not any of y'all ladies on the panel, because y'all all know that I think y'all are beautiful, but not feel some kind of way about it. You understand what I'm saying? People don't always take that, you know, if you tell somebody, oh, you're beautiful, then the first thing they tell their friend is, yeah, she thinks she's something else. Who is she to tell me I'm beautiful? Like, how is she to judge that? You know, you get that kind of reaction from people. So how do we work on that together as women?
You have to show them through your actions, through your actions, you know, so.
And also, I think it's a mindset thing too. I mean, a lot of these women who don't like to empower each other, they have a negative mindset. Of course, just like y'all said, they're either, they lack confidence or insecure. And also, they just didn't learn in their childhood. how to be this great woman of empowerment or encourager. Just like Queen Jock said, I grew up in a household of women, even a family of women who always wanted to encourage each other, even if people in the family didn't like each other, or they was gonna get together, we was gonna have a nice holiday together, we was gonna get to love each other. In church, of course, me being in the church, all the women that I've seen growing up, they all loved on each other. So it was just natural for me to do the same. But of course, in reality, you see a lot of the cattiness, the pettiness, and what we have to do is just try to be better and move forward.
And that's one thing. If there was pettiness and negativity, I didn't see it. My parents like go in another room while we talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So if there was, I'm not saying there wasn't, because it probably was, but I didn't see it. So I only saw
And that's how it
love.
should be. But nowadays, kids are in grown folks' business, so that could be a problem as well.
Right.
A lot of children.
But Emma, just to kind of expound on your question, you got to be the change you want to see, you know, especially in culture. You know, and like Trey, like Queen Trey said, or T said, literally, our culture, you know, it's a lot of learned behavior, and you know, some people weren't exposed like Jock, some women weren't exposed like Queen T, you know, and it definitely hits on your background. But we got to start here, you know, the mirror. When you looking in that mirror, you see your reflection of yourself. You don't see all them other women. So you got to be able to contribute and be the change that you want to see in your community and around each other. Like Queen Lady B said, let's collab. Like at this point in the game, if I'm doing X, Y, and Z, you doing X, Y, and Z, let's come on, let's build, let's do this thing together. You know, we're stronger together than we are individually.
Now that's easier said than done. I work in my workplace. There's a lot of women in my workplace. So, and you get a lot of clicks. You know, women can be cliquish. So you get a lot of cliquish, a lot of little things like that. So it's kind of easier said than done when you're working with different and then different women from different backgrounds of life. You know, they done went through a lot of things. So it's like breaking down a brick wall with a toothpick. You know what I'm saying? So you get some people that are receptive, and you get some people that are not. A lot more so not than a lot so more than are.
They
I also
like
learned
because of your walk.
exactly the way you walk around being the boss.
You don't cut that out. Look, we're not about to do that.
I have learned that people who don't like to share. I learned that people who don't like to empower each other don't like to share. Like, let's just say there's a person that's like a big time boss. She has her own business, or just she's basically like a CEO of a company or whatever. I learned that some of the women don't even like to share. They don't even like to help. I don't know why, but I have learned that as well. I don't know why women don't like women to actually be on their level or above them if they had any contributions towards that.
We haven't heard from y'all, Shay. Queen Shay, what do you think? Tell us what you're thinking. You're sitting there nice and quiet.
I'm just taking it all in because I haven't always had the best of experience with women. I've had some awesome experience. I love the women from my church, you know, and I've met some women along the way in college and in the workplace, but there has definitely been some experiences that I did not enjoy. Me being the age that I am, you would think that, you know, I come in and I come in to learn from others. I love older women and I love the wisdom from older people. You know, I sat around with women from my family and we would have long talks. You know, sometimes they would try to send me back to the kids' table, but I would sneak my way, you know, and I would just love to learn from their experiences, because they never try to impart wisdom that they didn't have, but they would just be raw and honest and transparent about the different things that they did go through in life. And I would learn from those things, learn what not to do and learn what to do and what mistakes not to make, what pitfalls not to fall into, you know? So I'm always open to learn from older women. I always find myself in a workplace well, I'm surrounded by people that are older than me, women that are older than me that I'm supposed to work with. Teaching is what I've been doing recently for the past 2 years. So I'm 24 years old. So most of the people that I'm working with in the teaching field are older. You know, they've been doing this for years. So naturally, I'm under them. I'm learning from them and how to do it. And I wasn't always received well. And I come in and I'm happy, and you know, I'm a little sheepish when I first come in because I don't know what I'm stepping into, but for some reason there was a disconnect. And once I really got to the flow of my own classroom and I started to learn my students, and you know, I got better at what I was doing, I was able to see results, and I would report back to the women that were supposed to help me, and they were upset that I was getting results for the children. And I'm like, this isn't even about me. This is about the success of the children. We work for the children. So you're upset that their reading levels are going up. You're upset that their math skills are you know, improving. And you're mad that I'm the one that did it because I'm wet behind the ears, and and it's just like, I don't take myself too seriously. You know, whatever I do, I don't walk around with it on my shoulder or wear it on my shirt like a badge. You know, I'm humble in what I do, because I realize that it's not about me. So for it to be received that way, and for it to be a competition, like, oh, you got these special needs children to read, I'm mad at you because I couldn't do it. Well, girl, you could have went in the classroom any day and did it.
You're there for the wrong reason. They're
If you
there for
want
the
to work with me, we can do that. You know, that's what we were supposed to do in the first place. And so I don't know what.
You know what, I don't want it to seem like it's all women, because it's not.
It's absolutely
that
not.
experience that Shay had, I've experienced that too in my workplace, but I've also experienced some women that knew that I was new, but they was willing to help me. Oh,
Yeah.
you can go here, you can ask this person, you can call this person, you can do this. So it's not all women, but I totally understand what she's saying. It's like we're all here to win, and we're all here to impact the children. Like, why wouldn't you want to help me? Because when I win, we all win.
Yeah.
When I lose, we all lose. So let's work together for the better good. I mean,
yeah.
But it's not all women, but
and unfortunately, most of the women, I find in my own experiences, most of the women are good.
Yeah.
It's just that the ones that are bad are so bad until they stand out and make the ones that are good, you know, not worth the conversation. You know, because what happens is it's not often, because I'm like you in my workplace. My goal is to help you, because when I help you, then you help me. You know, it's the kind of situation where it's better if we're working together, and I do what I can. Like I said, it takes me a long time to realize that somebody ain't speaking to me or somebody don't like me, because I like me. So
my question to you is, Queen Emma, what did you do? What did you do when you found out she wasn't speaking? Did you still speak, or you said, "Oh, I ain't got time for this no more"? What did you do?
I still spoke.
Oh, that's good.
My father told me a dog will wag his tail. You know what I'm saying? So, and it don't hurt. Saying good morning don't cost anything. I just realized now she's not saying good morning back. You understand what I'm saying? But it didn't. I still walked out, because the way you walked in, you know, you pass some cubicles and you're like, good morning, good morning, good morning. So you still, but I didn't say like, good morning, Queen Tans, good morning, Queen T. You know, I just said good morning, good morning. And those who liked it, fine. And those who didn't, okay. You know, but you have to be able to recognize for your own self that personally, I don't need affirmation from somebody to say I'm wonderful. You know, I'm like Michael Jackson. I look at the man in the mirror. You understand? And I say to myself all the time, girl, you know, you just as cute as you want to be. You smart, you funny, you got it going on.
You got it going on.
You know, y'all don't want me to get me started. Y'all don't want to get me started. Unfortunately, everybody don't have that
confidence.
Go like that, right. You know?
And I also think it's like the crab in the bucket mentality, where Jackie said she's able to share an idea. Like, if I win, you win. A lot of people don't, especially women, they don't see it like, if I win, you win. So guess what? I'm not even going to share this idea. I'm not even going to give you a compliment.
Yeah, they don't want to see you win.
Right. They don't want to see you win. I think it's just the crab in the bucket mentality. But then I think Yashay said something that was very important. She said she was like, some people didn't receive her, but then there was some that older women that actually did help her. And one thing about me is this forum, like having relationship with all of you guys, is new for me. Prior to coming to church, it's new for me because all of my friends were always male, because I couldn't stand cattiness. And I found that, not that I see it more now in men than women, but I see a cattiness in a woman, and it baffles me when I'm in especially like a place like the workplace, and a young person can't go to an older person and ask for advice without their business getting around the whole workplace. Like, as women and adult women, where do we get a place where we're able to give information, we are willing to share, we are willing to help? And I find a lot of women, even in my age bracket, I'm like, oh my God, if you have not grown up yet, when are you going to do it? So I find cattiness in women, like, it's even older women. I'm still shocked. Still shocked.
Don't be shocked. That's one of the reasons why I love this Queen's Quarter thing, our platform, because it gives us opportunity to work together as women. And with each one of you, I mean, I see what I see in myself. You ladies are humble. You ladies, are very intelligent, and you're very smart. And I see that. And I believe that this is one of the things that can make a change. When other women see just common women like us, we're able to come together and work together, all walks of life, and we're able to come together and work together. I think that this is a big change right here.
I could be wrong, but Lady B, you look like you have something to say. Go ahead, jump in.
After you, Lady B, I have a comment and a question.
No, well, I think that we're making very valid points here, especially with this starting with us. And at the beginning of you announcing the topic, I didn't even think about, of course we know that this is what this show is all about, but I'm like, dang, we're actually modeling that every chance we get, every time we, premiere or give a new episode. It's an example of how women can come together, not just women of our culture, but of all ages, and like we said, different walks of life. So I think even if no one else is doing it or no one else gets it, as long as we get it, as long as we stay true to who we are, and as long as we genuinely encourage each other, because I was going to say that too, like some people just do women empowerment just to be in the spotlight. Oh, it's me again. You know what I'm saying? Like genuinely pour into me, not to just get credit or be on this big old spotlight is on you. So as long as we continue to stay true to ourselves, because we can't control everybody, we can't control what other women are going to think. You could be as nice, and this brings me back to what she's now my sister, one of my sisters, but one of my, we started out as co-workers. And we were talking about enemies and haters and stuff like that. And I'm in my 20s and I'm like, oh, well, I don't have any enemies or haters. And she stopped and looked at me. We were eating lunch. She looked at me like, what? I was like, well, she was like, I don't care how nice you are. I don't care how nice you are. It's going to always be somebody who does not like you or who has an issue with you, regardless of how sweet or nice you are. So I said all that to say, bringing it back to, as long as we just stay focused on doing what we're doing, modeling that the best way we can, we got it covered. Eventually, some will latch on and get it, and then others will never get it.
Exactly.
That was good.
You had a comment, Queen Nine?
Oh, yes. I did want to comment on what Queen Shay said. I love the older women. Y'all know that I call them seasoned saints at our church. It's great to learn from them, even if they don't really understand everything that we go through. They could always give you wisdom. They could always give you encouragement. So that's a beautiful thing. But my question was, because Queen Ty and Queen T said they have like a lot of male friends, or even Queen Ty said she has a male best friend. What makes it different for y'all to be in a relationship with like them? Because from my understanding, men talk just as much as women. So what makes it more comfortable for y'all to have male friends rather than female friends? That's my question, basically.
Well, for me, just like T said, it's the cattiness, it's the gossiping. God knows that's what goes on a lot in my workplace. It's the gossiping. It's it's more like it's not really, and I won't say I'll be in competition because it's not a competition. It's more like a regular, good old conversation between two people. That's it. Like, I don't see him as being a male. I mean, even though he is a male, but I just see him as being a human. And that's all I want is a regular conversation that I can have with somebody and that they can have back with me. I mean, and it doesn't have to be the fact that this person's a woman or this person's a man. It's just having a not a competition. Like, everything don't have to be an issue, a competition, a jealousy. It don't have to be that way. It just why can't we just love one another just because? That's it.
My question to y'all is, do y'all think these friends that are males, do they have a motive? Meaning, do they like y'all secretly, or y'all think they're genuinely our friends? Like, y'all real friends?
We genuinely friends. Like, I'm friends with his girlfriend too. So
Okay.
yeah, we're friends.
Well, for me,
I can definitely say that, you know, because I have a lot of male friends as well. You know, I've had a lot of girlfriends in my lifetime, but I definitely have more male friends, and those relationships do get complicated. They can get complicated because attraction does set in, and you know, I wouldn't always call it an ulterior motive. I think after a while, because there's that attraction between men and women, that, you know, they start to get to know you in depth, and then attraction can set in and feelings can start to form. But for the most part, you know, I regardless of if that happens, I'm gonna always appreciate the friendship for what it is, because having men as friends, men are definitely emotional. We're not even going to take that away from them.
That's right.
Emotional at times. But when it comes to their conversation with women, it's just easier, you know, to get to understand the woman's psyche and the male psyche, and come together in that way. For some reason, it just gels easier, because I don't see men and women wanting to be in competition with each other. It just doesn't happen. I think the main killer with women on women friendships and relationships, I think it's the number one killer is jealousy and competition, and it just always has to be a war, and it doesn't have to be that. That's the reason that we don't become friends in the workplace, or, you know, just working together on projects or whatever the case may be. It's just, before friendship could take place, there's always oh, she thinks she's better than me. Oh, she did that. And it's just like, girl,
I saw cattiness in women at a, you know, even in little girls at a young age. So we going back way before we got into a place where we wanted to have relationships. So my friends go back, like when the boys wanted to go outside and play touch football and in the snow and have fun. The girls weren't doing that. So I was with the guys. And then after we finished playing around, then we would sit down and just have conversations. So I just found that the guys weren't thinking about the same thing the girls were thinking about.
How young were you?
I'm talking about like a teenager. So it wasn't because, I mean, we all lived on the block. We all knew each other. We were friends. It wasn't like that. I don't know if they had girlfriends. You know, we were young. So my relationship with men started very early, in a sense of just having male friends, more male friends than female friends. And so I just didn't like what I saw in a lot of women. But my question goes back to Queen Jock, because she said something about dress code and looking nice and feeling nice. And of course, when you look good and you feel good, you become your best me. And so I have a thing, and I don't want to sound judgmental, with our new dress code is stretch pants. Okay, in our community, at the workplace, sometime at the church. So I just want to know. I don't even want to give my take on that. Somebody help me, please. Why is it that I said I don't want to give my
pants at church?
I say they might wear it at church too. I've seen it. I've seen stretch pants.
You mean the Uggs in the leggings? That's
I'm talking about the leggings, stretch pants that I see on my job every day, all day. If yours tighter than mine's got to come up a little bit higher. The camel got to come out. It's a you wearing one thongs, I'm wearing none. I don't know how this go. So help me with the dress code, because
before we get into the dress code, let me interject about being friends with men. because the dress code is a whole nother issue. But let me interject. I grew up, I always tell you, my family, we all lived around each other. And I grew up, all my cousins and stuff that's my age happen to be boys. So I grew up around a whole lot of boys. So to me, part of my relationship with guys is just based on the fact that that's who I know. You know, somebody was saying that, you know, that's just how they hang out. That's who I knew. So sometimes when you see women who gravitate to men, sometimes it's basically because that's how your friendships have been formed all your life. Like Tracy, when I was growing up, the guys that was my age were boys. So, you know, I'm like you, I played touch football, you know, I played tops. I'm scared of cats now because I was beating a guy in tops and he put a cootie cat on my back, you know. So it's just crazy, you know. But go
Thank
ahead.
you for
Get back
saying
to
that,
the
Emma, for
order.
everybody say it was all physical. Like they just wanted to touch you. So thank you for bringing that out. It was tops. It was everything boys did, we wanted to do. Thank you.
Yeah.
But
So go ahead.
the thing about it is, I'm sorry to cut you off, but my niece even goes through stuff like that with her little girlfriends. So I
Yes.
mean, it happens at a young age as well. I don't understand what they be going through.
I
You
think it's kind of different for your niece because she does have two older brothers. Everybody don't have brothers.
she has her little girlfriends that they be having little issues and stuff too. So I see it through them at a young age, and she's 9. So I mean,
Yeah.
it happens from 9 years old all the way up until you a grown adult. So
99.
my thing is, how do you break that cycle? Like, what can you do to break that cycle?
But remember, Todd, it's what you're exposed to, what you see at home. Not saying Zoe, but maybe her girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So not saying Zoe is the starter. She probably the finisher.
Yeah, she is.
And she definitely mature because she around her mother and you. So
Yeah, so
y'all
it might not
already
be-
like
Yeah, so it might not be her. It might be, you know, the little girl might see something on Zoe she don't like, or see something on Zoe that she wants, and knowing her background, she can't get it. Because you never know what these young girls are going through at home. Because you know nowadays everybody's struggling. COVID put us all on the same level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Entertainers, football players, everybody. We all on the same level because we all was home together as one. So I mean, you know, it depends. It depends on what the little girl is going through. You know, we see it all day, every day, especially with in the school system and virtual learning, things like that. So we just don't know. Sometimes these kids is raising their parents. They're raising siblings. You know what I'm saying? So it might not be Zoe, but Zoe might be the target for that day.
Right.
So with that being said, I really think it starts at home. I believe raising up young women to be empowering and to be supportive and to be, you know, to be loving towards women and little girls that they grow up with, and not to think that it's a competition or that you have to hate her or you have to be better than her, because some little girls are taught that you have to be the best, you got to look the best, and that's not the case. You here to love and make friends, and little girls shouldn't have to worry about things like that, but because that's how their parents grew up, it's a cyclical situation, you know, and we have to break the cycle. We have children that are coming up under us now, and so we have to raise them up to be what we want to see in the world later. So I definitely think that it starts at home and being an example, like we already discussed.
Yeah, and you know, we had a village. You know, these kids don't have villages because you don't want, you know, parents don't want you touching their kid. They don't want you saying nothing to their kid. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a different time than it was when we was growing up.
Yeah, and when I was growing up, it was different because if one of my neighbors had to speak to me, trust me, I mean, my neighbor could spank me and then tell my mother, and my mother could spank me, and then tell my father, and my father could spank me. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? And nobody called diapers. It wasn't child abuse. none of that kind of stuff, but it turned you into adults because that became a whole village. You look out for each other. You know you couldn't do no wrong because so-and-so was going to tell your mother. Nowadays, when you go and tell their mother curse you out and the kids curse you out.
Right. And they coming to fight, all of them.
So my
Exactly.
question, I have a question. We're talking about a lot about how women don't like to empower each other. How does it look when they do? And what is the benefits from it?
Like now, it looks like now.
And what does it look like now? Positive?
Coming together, like and coming together to heal other people that might be going through whatever issue we're talking about. So it looks like right now, like this is like I said, this is the start. For me, it's
Beautiful.
the start.
Yeah. Women run the world. Women
We sure do.
absolutely run the world.
We
So
run the way.
imagine we have Kamala Harris as the vice president. She has inspired so many women to be the absolute best that we can be. And I think to see a Black woman in that kind of position of power, it empowers us to pull each other up so that we can all get there. You know, because we like you said, she's gonna run the world. Biden's not doing it on his own. He knew what he was doing. He put her on the ticket. So that's the kind of power that we wield. You know, we are that powerful. So I think coming together just looks like a whole bunch of power and a whole bunch of beauty just exploding. You know, I think there's so many ideas birthed out of women. There's literal children birthed out of women. We birth so much into the world. And I think if we come together, it would be such, and we are in this new time. Women are really coming together, and with social media and all these different things, you see so many women working together, sharing ideas, you know, and for free. You get on social media, you put a video out on how to better your credit, how to build your business, and women see that, and we are becoming the bosses that we've always wanted to be. Men are not running this world, trust me. So I think we're progressing, and I definitely, this is not a negative conversation about women. This is not to put down women, because we are coming together ourselves to uplift each other and uplift the women that are going to watch this, you know? So this is us just discussing where the root of the problem is. By the time this is over, this is going to be Black girl magic, women magic. So it's definitely getting better. Definitely.
There's a phrase from Maya Angelou that says, we may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. And I think that really helps us to sum up what positive women empowerment is about, because we're going to be defeated. We're going to encounter defeats, but we can't be defeated. And we have to learn to not only pull our own self up by the bootstraps, but help a sister pull herself up by the bootstraps. You know, we have to be able to say to somebody, listen, that was bad, but you know, you can do better from here, you know, or that was great, and I want you to show me how you did that, because I want to do better from here. You know what I'm saying? It has to be an all-around message that we're saying, you know what, when one grow, we all grow. And when one is defeated, we're going to help you so that you can be on the growing side. That's important. That's really important.
Absolutely.
It's important to know that we're all queens. So even in our intro for Queen Quarters, that's one of our things. We are all queens. We are rulers, and you know, all the rest.
Yes, we are queens. We got to change the dynamic too, because we know on social media, TV, what people watch, that could be really it could bring a lot of division, you know, a lot of separation. So like if you look at some of the shows that's out now, you know, how are they gaining their ratings? They're gaining their ratings by women talking down to each other, all up in each other's face. You got the neck rolling, you got the eye rolling, you got the pointing, you got jumping on tables, knocking.
Don't forget the half nakedness as well.
Nakedness, going back to Tracy with the dress code. It's what people are seeing, and if you're allowing that to kind of guide you in how you dress, and oh God, you know, this is what they're wearing on TV. They got the girls showing, which is your breast. You got the girls pumped up. You got the booty out. You tight this and your camel toe out. You got all that going on, and then you jumping across tables. I'm knocking you in your face because you saying stuff that I don't like, or you ain't reacting or responding the way I want you to respond. And these are the ratings. The ratings are shooting up. So what are people saying? We want to see more of that. We want to see more of that. But then you have a platform in a space like this where we're coming together, we're agreeing, we're supporting one another. That's corny. That's corny to people. That's whack. Like nobody want to see that, because that's
And even
not
if we
ratings. You know what I'm saying?
even if
That's
we
not
disagree,
keeping it
we
up.
agree to disagree. It's
That's
okay
right.
if because we're not robots. We're not going to all have the same opinion about everything. It's okay for us to agree to disagree. The thing is, we have to respect each other's opinion, and that's what's most important. You know, I might not always agree with what it is that you say. You may not always agree with what I say, but you have to respect the fact that I have the right to say it. And I have the right to feel that way. And that's how you really sort of work to empower women. You recognize that, listen, I'm not going to always agree with you, but I respect your right to feel that way. And I respect your
Right.
right to say what it is that you have to say.
And be an individual. Be good with you. I don't gotta
Yes.
try to act like nobody else. I'm me. I am carbon. You know, there's no carbon copies. This is a distinct. You are a piece of clay. You are made individually with wonderful attributes. How you are designed, it's you to be designed just that way. So you harp in on your individualness and be proud of who you are. Be
It's a
proud of
beautiful
what
thing
you
to be
bring to
unique.
the table.
Yeah.
Yes, be proud of what you bring to the table, and don't try to be anybody else, because you know we all grow up, and you know several people have identity issues and trying to figure out who they are and all that other stuff. That goes back to it, Queen Top, where you know Zoe can experience this stuff as kids, because these children are still trying to find themselves. And if they are sitting in a household where their mother don't know who she is and the auntie don't know who she is, and all they see is all the stuff on TV, and that's how they live in their life based off of these reality shows, then they're going to really replicate what it is they see from day to day. So these platforms like this, I pray that this opens the door for more positivity. You know, this could have been a show where we talked about celebrities and we talked about people, and it was more gossip and slander put into the world. But who needs more of that? Who needs
Right.
more of
That's
that? You know
right.
what I'm
That's
That's
saying?
right.
right. We don't need no more of that.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, when we come together to do what we got to do, we got to change the dynamic, and we got to be proud
Absolutely.
about changing the dynamic, and
Absolutely.
not give in. You know, especially if God decides to make this bigger platform, we're not curving, we're not giving in. We're talking about life situations. That's it. We ain't trying to make nobody feel bad. We're trying to pull everybody up, and we got to stand firm on that foundation of changing the dynamic.
Awesome.
So where do we
I
send
love
our
it.
offering? Where do we send our offering? Because you just preached.
Okay, come on.
What's
Like
your
that.
cash app?
I'm
You can
saying
cash out
right.
You
What's
have
your cash
Zelle,
app, Sands?
Zelle,
You
Cash
can
App,
cash app Queen Quarters. Like, no,
big
we don't
checks.
even got a cash app. Nobody even got
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's true. But I wanted to add to what Yashay said. During the COVID, that really brought not only just Black women together, it brought Black people together.
it.
Definitely.
Y'all
Did.
pages have been created by Black and support Black businesses and things like that. And I tried to support everybody. I really did. But you know, sometimes it's more out there than you got money. but yeah, it really sparked something to Black people to come together. So that was a good thing.
It
But
was.
Especially with what's going on in the world. And I did
yeah,
notice a little bit more unity with us African Americans or Black people. So it's beautiful.
not only that, it was after the riots and stuff like that. So I think that's when
Yeah.
we really came together. But
Yeah.
Queen T, I going back to your dress code question, I didn't understand it. Can
No,
you?
I think you guys really did well with answering. Queen Tan's definitely brought out that is important. You know, she brought it out. I have nothing more to add to it. I think it was just perfect, and that's what we need. We need that information. We need to know that it's important that we dress for success. You know, back in the day, they used to have a day in school where you would come in and dress for success. But you know, I like to hold my peace on that sometimes, because people say, oh, you're just being judgmental, or you're just old fashioned, or you don't know and you're old school. But you are perceived by the way that you dress. You are received by the way that you dress. And when you want to feel your best, you dress your best. You dress for success, And so I brought it to you because I know you're a fashionista, and you like and so what's good and what's bad. So the question was addressed to you, but I think Queen Tans definitely answered it very well.
I just want to say I like leggings.
There's nothing wrong with leggings.
But
Let's be clear. It's how you wear it.
I like quality leggings, and I wear it a certain way. I don't.
Right, it's how you wear it. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. But also, Tansy, in addition to our Queen's Quarters, it also shows that there are people that have more to say than the usual conversations that are going on, as far as women fighting, being petty, and coming after each other and being naked and things like that. There are women out there that have actual minds.
Absolutely.
That have other things to say.
Absolutely.
That can talk without cursing.
Come on, somebody.
That's right.
Also can empower women as well, as far as our platform and how we have different ideas and how we can come together as Black women to empower other Black women, and not only other Black women, just women.
Women in general.
Because women in general can be petty. Women in general can be jealous, but we are here to set the standard.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And I would just like to add one thing, Jock. Thank you for saying that. This platform is not just about Black people. So we don't want anybody to get that understanding. But it's just we know we struggle with this issue more than other cultures. So we're not, we just I wanted to make that clear. This is a platform about women, but we're taking it from that perspective because we do struggle with that issue, that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else want to share anything else?
Well, ladies, I want to say that you all empower me to be greater. And I'm so serious. I'm so serious. We haven't been airing long, but since we've all been meeting, you guys have really been important to me, whether you know it or not. So this is my moment to say thank you. You guys rock. You guys rock. It's an honor to be a part of this movement.
Yeah, hats off to each of the panelists here. I mean, I don't think we could have did this without any one of you. We all bring something very unique to the table. Thank you, Queen Lady B, even for opening that up. We are all needed in this platform and in this time. So thank you for your time. Thank you for us being transparent. And our audience, we thank you. We really do. We thank you for hanging in here with us all this way. You have experienced the Queen's Quarters. And we are just excited and delighted that you have been a part of this experience with us. We want you to come on back, tune in. This is Women's Month. So tell your grandmas, tell moms, tell your aunties, your sisters, your cousins, even tell your uncles, your grandpas, tell them to come on in, because we're going to have a segment where we're going to bring the men in and we're going to hear from the men too, because our kings got a lot to say. And even in this time, although they try to muzzle our kings, we want our kings to speak too. We want all our voices to be heard. So you've experienced the Queen's Quarters. There's a king and a queen in you. Stay tuned next Wednesday. And also don't forget, I'm going to say it, YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Come on in, share, turn on them post notifications so you know when we're going live and you are ready to come on in with Queen's Quarters. We love you guys. Come on, stay tuned for the next show. Wonderful being with you.